Greetings. Welcome to Strange Day, a show where people are invited to call in, share experiences with both the audience and the host. Our goal is to foster a sense of connection and understanding, allowing listeners to relate to the story and feel less alone. Also promoting a broader awareness of different perspectives, while the host is available to provide thoughtful feedback and support to the caller. My name is Mac. I'm your host, a disabled neurodivergent gendered gay man. While waiting for an audience to form, I've been playing through Stardew Valley exclusively on stream. If you want to call in or chat, my full attention, problem pausing the game. And if you're here for the gameplay or the vibe, that's it too. But without further delay, play. How is everyone doing this evening? Hello. But until then, how is your evening going? Really? Oh, my my volume modified again. Some program like this. Yep, that should be better. Is the audio better now? Okay. Yeah, so I used Zoom earlier today, which apparently liked to hijack my microphone's volume settings and turned it down to 66. Yeah, that has to do with the gating. But I don't know what is doing with my controller right now. Like, I don't know why my controller isn't registering, which is odd. And I'm absolutely not familiar with how to play this on keyboard and mouse because I haven't done that yet. So let's try restarting Steam and see if that fixes it. I don't know. I just love Windows. It's the best. Oh, what is that? Why is it this specified? Conflicts. What? Why am I getting an issue here? I didn't have any problems with devices earlier today. Like, I have done nothing with my computer since earlier this morning. Oh my goodness. This is very, very unfortunate. But I also don't understand why I'm having issues. All of a sudden. It sounds like I was breaking things. I was not breaking things. I don't think Xbox drivers are going to fix my problem. I don't know why this would suddenly happen. There was no reason for this. Could you assign it to a different device then? Because then I could actually use it and not have to restart everything and hope that Windows unscrews itself and have to start everything over. Everything's not broken. It's just my game controller for some reason. Because, like, it's not even the game controller, it's the Bluetooth. Oh no, 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 I'm sure that was unpleasant. Very, very unpleasant. Well, I guess I'm playing on keyboard and mouse tonight then, because my controller does not want to be controllered. For reasons I'll never know. Because Bluetooth shenanigans. Oh, I'm sure that was even more pleasant because chlorine after the abrasions. Yeah. It didn't hurt? That's surprising. Just a little bit. Oh, this is going to be really awkward as I try to figure out how to... Nope, that is not the button apparently, because... Nope, that is not... Oh, I also need to check calendar. The little lady on the 20th. Oh, so many buttons don't work as I expect. So many buttons. I need to go. Cause I need to go try and fish up me some octopus. Oh. No, because it's summertime. Um, yeah, summer and winter, 6 to 1 p.m. Beach, Orange Ginger Island. Fishing is the most entertaining thing. Can't believe these people are just now going to Ginger Island. Like, it is 11 a.m. Like, what have you been waiting for? And we're out of time for the day. Well, poo. I feel like playing the lotto would be easier. Come on, octopus. Just need one octopus. Just one. Come on. Just cute little bivalved. Valve? No, that's not right. We're looking for. Bicardiac? Because they have two hearts, right? Maybe I'm crazy. I don't remember. It's not like I'm the biologist. Right, but do octopi have two hearts? Three. That was one more than I was remembering, so I'll accept that L. And just be astonished. Interesting. They might want to see about making their gills more energy efficient. Yeah, I was just trying to be fancy with the way of saying 2 hearts. And then I realized that hearts have valves, and that would not be an accurate way of phrasing it. Which is why I then changed it to being like bicardiac, but then that doesn't sound right either. Yeah, but then how many hearts does a horseshoe crab have? Because they also use copper. Oh, I mean, that's technically true, I suppose. Out of time again. I accept your answer on a technicality, but it doesn't mean I have to like it. What other animals have copper or blood as a transport mechanism? Gross. Mollusks and interesting. I just want to catch an octopus. How hard is this? Hash browns? Why hash browns? So weird. I never. It's so weird. Fish stew must have crayfish, mussels, periwinkle. Like, why is it not just fish? Fish taco must have tuna. Why not just fish? That's what I'm saying. Like, I could substitute any of the other fish that I have. I mean, even more expensive fish would do if I have a greater supply of it. I just don't know why the recipe specifically has to be those fish. Frustrating. Miss Tijuana Flats. Yeah. It's frustrating, but I also understand that like this game has certain limitations to it, but like but there's so many varieties of fish in this game, and there are certain recipes that already accept fish for everything in the recipe. So clearly they could do it. They're just not doing it for these things. Energy tonic. What? Huh. Never had one of those before. Whoosh. Fastest horse in town. Kind of the only horse in town, though. I guess it's not an inaccurate statement. I mean, if it's the only horse, then it is the fastest, so it's fine. It still qualifies. It's fine. Need to take those. And I need potatoes. I don't have potato seeds, so I need to go make some. Okay, and so with that, give me potatoes. Oh, I need the Instagrow. Instagrow with the fertilizer stuff. And I'm off. Oh, free money. almost guarantee that was one just now. I just wasn't able to finish the catch because that was insane. Oh my god, finally. That took far too long. Okay. Should be done with fishing nonsense until the seasons change, which is probably coming soon. Yeah, I have Netflix and I've watched all of Stranger Things. I might check it out. I'm currently in the middle of rewatching Umbrella Academy because I may or may not have forgot how it ended. How did I screw that up? Did I? No, I didn't screw that up. Okay. Um, because torch is here. Yep, that's exactly why. This. I do tend to sometimes struggle with fantasy films or TV shows because I don't always do well with the list lost. Well, I don't actually maintain a real list, but like I mean, I'll check it out, but I make no promises about the things that I actually get into. So the best I can do is I'll give it a go and we'll see if my brain decides it's something I'm into. Because that's really what decides things is my brain. Because weirdly, I didn't think End of the Effing World was going to be something I was going to like, and then I really got into it. weirdly. So, like, that happened. Oh, I need the cheese for Taro. I need to give it to Leah. Because it's her birthday. Yeah, but it's not like a conscious decision. It's the like lizard part of my brain. It's the, oh, my meat is going to make the choice for me because I didn't get to make it consciously. Oh, sorry. Oh, there goes my inability to detect humor. I mean, I guess, but I don't know. I guess I just take things too literal sometimes. And also, the emojis don't always come through so well. Like, they do, but they're all weird. And so I don't register them what they mean up front. Because they're not. That's my one issue with Twitch emojis. Like, I like that everybody has their own unique ones, and there's so many different kinds. But boy, golly, it makes it hard for a rapid image detection. Like, I can't just look at them and be like, I know what that is, because they all look different. Like, they're not just your standard, like regular emoji set. It's all different things and stickers, and it's just hard to quick detect. But that is not a I should have a problem with Twitch. That is a I have a problem with keeping up with things sometimes. Oh. No, I know it's Twitch auto converts, and Twitch has a bunch of things. It just doesn't make it necessarily the most easiest to understand what it all means. Finally, she can stop hating me. Hooray! Oh, Penny still hates me. feel like I should be able to train my dog, hey Owls, to come with me into the dungeons and fight stuff. How are you doing this evening, or in your case, maybe this morning? I'm pretty tired myself. It's been a busy day. I am gonna have a busy week, actually, but it could be good. I'm not sure. We'll see how it goes. I'll go with that. I'll see how it goes. Kiddo, have you run ragged? Oh. So what has you all emotionally drained? Or is it the same thing as last night? Well, we're here if you want to talk about it, but there's no pressure. Oh. Well, I don't know about you, but I certainly know that when I'm tired, and especially if I'm exhausted and tired, like physically exhausted, emotionally exhausted, uh, like my cognitive function is worn down, I start to lose my ability to regulate my emotions, and so I start to have emotional swings. And so I do that too. Like I start to go through ups and downs a lot more rapidly and drastically. if I'm being honest, it's part of my concern with doing the 7 o'clock stream, because staying up so late, I worry about maintaining concentration and staying calm and focused and emotionally regulated for people. Yes, but even that, you can still become dysregulated if you become beyond your baseline. How to put it? Your baseline is exhausted when you compare it to others. If you become tired beyond your baseline, your capacity to regulate becomes further diminished. I'm not saying that's what's happening. I'm just saying that as a chronic insomniac, I still have to base my judgments on my function. So not like I'm not comparing myself to the averages of others. It's based on me. So like when I am beyond my normal thresholds, I also know what it's like to like be emotionally exhausted but uncertain as to why you're so entirely drained. Because life can just come at you too rapid fire, and it's not one specific thing that's taxed you. It's just all the things hit you at once. That is both the beauty and the bane of how our minds function. We generalize a lot of what we take in, and we can often forget some of the negative things, but yet we also harbor and hold on to certain negative things for dear life. It depends on how we perceive them. It's like I often forget how bad my insomnia can get until I get really deep into the trenches of it, and then when I come out, I'm like, oh god, that was awful, and then after a while I just forget about it because it's a rare occurrence, but it can get really bad. but it takes so long to get into the bad parts of my insomnia. It's what scares me about my migraines. Like, if I go long enough without one and it comes back and surprises me, like, I really worry that I'm gonna have forgotten how bad the pain is. So, like, it's a bit frightening. So it's why I try to hold on to the memory of it so that I don't forget, so that I am prepared for it, so that I don't get complacent. See, in normal circumstances, I would probably offer advice along the lines of trying to find ways to, give yourself a break and emotionally recharge so that you can, catch your breath and stuff like that. But I know that that's not something you really have an opportunity for. When I was younger, I used to be able to, like, take barbiturates, like Xanax, stuff like that, and it would help to reset me and help me to recalibrate me, but it doesn't really do that for me anymore. So I would take like a Xanax and go to sleep, and it would help me to like recalibrate my emotional state. So if I felt like I was just emotionally exhausted, or I was starting to slide into like a depressive state because of things or circumstances around me, I had a prescription and I could take one, help me go to sleep. It would help me to also deal with my insomnia, even though that's not what they were prescribed for. And it would just help me to kind of like zero out. It would help me to sort of recalibrate my emotional state, but it doesn't really help anymore for that, sadly. Honestly, it wasn't regularly enough to be called adequate sleep. Adequate sleep is what I usually get now, but Well, what I got before I was doing streaming on the regular. I don't really get adequate sleep these days, just because the morning stream and the evening stream kind of overlap into what one might consider appropriate sleep time frame. I really miss using my controller already. Santa Claus. You know what? I think it's enough of that bucket hat. It's time to put you in a question mark top hat. What? How did my gate? As far as I know, they don't break. Oh, I was probably told to bring a gift for someone. Whoops. I'll get them a perch. Why not? Oh, well, that's unfortunate. It's Haley? I don't have anything good on me to give Haley. She likes coconuts. You know what I'm gonna do? Day is it? I don't know what time of day it is. Let's gonna restart the day. Because I didn't even know I had Haley as a secret gift givey person. So let's just unscrew that up. Oh my god, I miss using the controller already so much! That was unfortunate. I would have rather had the other thing, the tonka soup. I basically think that's most people. Like, I think most people just don't understand what they feel half the time. Like, I think that it's a complex issue that a lot of people try to struggle to understand. For a long time, I shut off my emotions and refused to feel anything, and it's made trying to figure out what I feel later in life a lot harder to understand. I can understand that, but I do know what it is sort of like. I struggled with it because I didn't feel a lot of things in general because I turned down all the emotions I had. Uh, it still causes me trouble today. Um, I don't feel positive emotions as strongly as I feel negative ones, and so it causes me difficulty. Um, Negative emotions I always just feel more intensely. So anger, aggression, frustration, annoyance, those things come through loud and clear. Positive emotions, joy, happiness, laughter, fun, they don't come through as easily. One of the other things that I struggle with is love. I don't know what that feels like. I don't understand it in the way that I think other people do. I have what I conceptualize it as and how I understand it, but I don't think I feel it like other people say that they feel it. And so I struggle with that because other people, the way they talk about it, it is very different than the way I interpret it. And it bothers me because it sounds so much better the way other people talk about it. But I understand what it's like to feel several emotions all at once because they're all sort of interwoven. I don't really have that so much anymore, just because I got really good at shutting it all down. But I'm sorry that that's what you're kind of going through right now. I feel eventually emotional regulation will become second nature for you. So because of all of this, you'll get better at it. It'll get easier. Hopefully you don't end up with the sort of same negative repercussions that I did, where you won't be as able to differentiate or necessarily, feel certain emotions. So hopefully that's not something you have a problem with in the future. But for all I know, maybe that's related to neurodivergent stuff. I similarly, It was so you've heard me mention working at a gay bar at one point. Um, that was the first time anyone ever expressed physical attraction to me and an interest in me, and it was very difficult for me to learn how to deal with that, and it took practice. Um, yeah, it's really hard to take compliments. I had to start learning. I had to program into myself things to say when people would give me a compliment rather than snarky, sarcastic responses, um, because I didn't believe them. Because my default was it's a lie or it's a trick or they're going to use it against me or they're setting me up for something. Because historically that's what people did. Is it was always a ruse. It was always something to lull me into a false sense of security so that they could, dump a bucket of pig's blood on me. Sometimes it takes the right people, the right environment, the right situation for you to be willing and comfortable to accept the input of others to help you to take the time to put the effort in to reprogram yourself, to start the process of developing in a different direction. Being in a community of people at the gay bar, uh, someone I found attractive expressing interest in me, telling me that I was attractive and kind, was the right kind of environment for me to start believing people found me attractive, found me interesting. Otherwise, I wouldn't have believed them, and I still, would have struggled. And so, like, that's part of the process. It's why I try to give you positive reinforcement and compliments when they're due, but I try not to overdo them. But why do you think that? But what makes you think that you're narcissistic? But what makes you think you're narcissistic? But see, that's not narcissism. So, is it okay for me to read this out loud? I just wanted to make sure. So you wrote, when I'm hurting, I keep it to myself until I explode, and that I hurt those around me. No reason, no explanation. Sure, you're in pain. People do that when they're in pain. They lash out, they get hostile and aggressive, they snap, They bite at people. I do it. Then you act like nothing happened. You crave control in everything. You'll use those around you, especially exploiting their kindness, and somehow manipulate them into feeling shitty too by refusing to talk / explain, but somehow flaunting your pain and suffering subtly. So that is manipulative, sure. And that's something you should work on, sure. But I don't see that. Not entirely. I feel like you explaining this is admitting that you know that it's not the right thing to do. But I also feel like you are exceptionally young. And yes, in a lot of ways, you are very mature. But learning how to deal with that is something that took me a long time to do. When you have an emotional outburst, learning how to properly handle that isn't easy. It's not an easy thing to do. It's not even an easy thing to explain to someone how to do, because it requires a lot of self-control and admission. And even in the after effects of it, we do a lot of damage control because we're embarrassed, we're upset about it, we internally know that we've made a big mistake, but we don't know what to do about it. And internally, we are in a state of panic and we're upset, and so we just do what we can to fix it. And sometimes that's ignoring it and pretending it never happened, or brushing it over, or trying to make somebody else pretend that it never happened. And that leads into the guilt and manipulation, or excuses, or, trying to find rationale. I mean, I get it. It feels easier that way. To the psyche, to the wounded mind, it's easier that way. To the bruised ego, it's much easier to be like, it's much simpler to just be the pain, it was the issue, nothing happened, whatever, let's just fucking move on. It takes more from a person to be like, oh, you know what? Yes, I was in a lot of pain, but I was out of line. I screwed up. That was my fault. I should have done better. I'm really sorry about that. I will try better next time. Keeping people at arm's length isn't helpful or healthy. It's responsible of you, yes. But I don't feel like it's helpful. Because yes, you're keeping people away because you're afraid you're going to hurt them, or you're going to be bad for them, or it's toxic. But you're also not allowing people to make that decision for themselves. The responsible thing would be inform them upfront. Hey, I know we're just starting to be friends. I want to be upfront. I have pain problems, which occasionally give me emotional outbursts, and sometimes that makes me a bit aggressive. I just want to let you know up front that if that happens, front load it. Be upfront with people. Talk to them. Because if you tell them up front, they can at least be aware of it. And if it's not something that they can handle, or if it's something that is a trigger for them, then they can respectfully bow out. They can choose to step away. But it's not really fair for you to keep everyone at arm's length, because then you're not letting people make their choices. I mean, yes, you do have that choice, but that's not fair to everyone else either. Especially since you're expressing that you want to have friends and to have that relationship and connection, and you want to be able to do those things. I think that you could have a healthy relationship. I mean, I think that you do need a therapist, but I think most people do. I think everyone could use someone to talk to. Otherwise, why would I be here? But don't give up on yourself. I think you're just having a rough day internally. And sometimes we have those. No problem. Every day can't be a good day. Every day can't be a positive day. And personally, I don't even strive for that. I just aim for neutral. But I don't think you're narcissistic. Because if you were, you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't have put so much time and effort into helping me. I know that I'm not physically there, but still. It's shitty, but you've been more of a friend to me than some of the people that I know here, because I haven't heard from some of the people that I thought I called friends here, that I made friends with, and that, you know, we were supposed to hang out and stuff and talk about the stream stuff, but I haven't heard from them. So, I mean, I get that people have lives, but a text message, something, I don't know. I'm just tired of chasing, so. But you message, you check in, like, grow up around it. Around what? Crazy? Or narcissism? It doesn't work like that. I mean, egocentrism maybe, but it's still not like that, and you can fight it. You can fight against it. I called my dad the other day and had a pleasant conversation, actually. The prior two conversations with my father were not the most pleasant. But we talked and discussed my mother and how she seems very self-centered and how that didn't get really passed down to 2/3 of the children. It's not a guarantee. You do not have to be like them. There are certain things that are biologically driven, sure. But that isn't a guarantee. You can fight it. You can rail against it. But that's what makes the difference. I believe that that word is what matters the most in people. As long as you mean it, it's what matters the most. I knew that's where you were going to go. Trying. The fact that you are trying not to be like that, in of itself, if you are genuinely trying not to be like that, inherently means that you are not. Because if you were a narcissist, you wouldn't even bother trying. Because you wouldn't care. Because it's not about you. Trying not to be a narcissist would be about other people and therefore is not narcissistic. And is inherently the problem. So, like, that's why I don't think that you would be. Now, you, as I said, you might struggle with egocentrism, where you struggle with finding things making you the center of focus, but that doesn't make you narcissistic. Everything isn't about you, clearly. But sometimes it's hard not being the center of focus and not being involved. But if you're aware of that, you can start baking in checks and balances to make sure you're cautious, making sure that you put things in place. I used to be very worried about slipping into a hyper fantasy where I would fall into a delusion state, because I lived in a very I had a hyperactive imagination when I was younger. And my parents sort of hammered into me that it could be a problem. And I used to worry that I might be a bit schizophrenic. And so I had friends in high school that used to pretend that they were possessed or what have you. And so anytime I would have odd events happen because I have chronic insomnia, sometimes when in the deep throes of not sleeping, auditory and visual hallucinations or visual, I don't want to say hallucinations really, but visual errors occur. And I have to check myself as to whether or not I'm making shit up. And so I have checks in place in my own head as to like, okay, hold on. Is this real? Or am I making shit up? Because I never want to be someone who malingers. I don't want to fabricate. Because I don't want to lie about it. It's not something, it's not cool, it's not edgy. It's bullshit. So that's not something I want to do. And so I have those kinds of like internal mental protocols in place where I just internally self-evaluate. And those are the kinds of things that you do when you're put into a situation where you are doing something that starts to draw attention to yourself and you have that feeling that maybe you're doing so inappropriately, or you worry that you might be doing it inappropriately. You stop, take a second internally and run a check. Is this appropriate? Am I manipulating the situation? Or better yet, put something like find a way to put checks in place before that happens to check if you're manipulating the situation. See if you can't find ways of putting in internal checks in yourself to make sure you're not manipulating the situations. It takes effort and introspection to do it. But that's what I've had to do in order to make sure that I don't get caught in things like that. It's part of how I try not to be so, or how I try not to be deceptive with people, and why I try to be so honest and upfront and genuine. It's why I try to be very careful about how I say things and the way I say them. It's why when I tell stories, sometimes after the fact, I'm like, wait, no, maybe that story was actually a bad idea. Sorry, maybe that story was inappropriate because reason X, just like I did the other night. Because that's a newer protocol in place in me where I'm still trying to refine it, because I'm not very good at detecting when and how certain things might be crossing a line and being inappropriate. Because how it might impact other people. So I'm still trying to like refine that, because my my inclusivity and my respectfulness capabilities sort of are recent in the last 3 to 5 years. You know, I'm part of the LGBT community, but really it's just been the L and the G for the majority of my life. So learning to be inclusive of everybody else is really a recent part of my growth as a person. And so I've learned a lot in the last 3 to 5 years. And I'm trying to incorporate that into a lot of things. And I'm expanding and growing and trying to make sure that I'm being respectful in all those areas. And that requires incorporating these patterns and routines into my neurodivergence, which requires structure. All right, that was a lot of talking. Well, I share when it's appropriate, or I try to anyway. I just want you to know that it gets easier. Doesn't seem like it, but it does. One of the things I learned in school, in college, is that neurodivergent people, our brains don't really finish developing until our mid-20s. It takes time. I fucking hate this. My controller's not working, so I have to use the keyboard and mouse, and the keyboard and mouse work entirely different. Well, I prefer playing with keyboard and mouse, except in games where you have to rotate to aim in order to swing a thing or shoot. And so, like, in this, I have to click on things while I have to, like, mouse around me. It's not like I move around, like I have to point in a direction to do a thing. I have to mouse around, and I don't like doing that. It's very backwards for me. I can do that with the thumbsticks, but I can't do it with mouse and keyboard in that way. And so certain games I prefer to play with, controller. This is one of them, but my controller is not working with my computer for some reason right now. It worked this morning. And so it's just not cooperating for some reason. That and this does not like my keyboard. It keeps hitting keys and screwing things up. Because, fun. It's a PC controller. It's not a console controller, if that's what you're asking. And the problem isn't with the controller, it's with my computer. I need to restart my computer, but I'd already started the stream. Yeah, that's why I'm playing with the keyboard and mouse, because I already started the stream and I was like, well, I guess I'm playing with the keyboard and mouse then, because I'm not gonna just up and stop things in order to fix it. Ugh. Because what could possibly go wrong? undid my dog's hat change. I gotta fix that. You take care too, Owls, and try and get some rest. I hope you feel better tomorrow. All right, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up here for tonight. I hope everyone has a great rest of your evening. Thank you all for tuning in. Hope you all take care. We'll see you again tomorrow.